War never changes.
The first season of the Fallout TV show is considered by most to be a huge success, but even the most hardcore fans can agree that we could have gotten more. The universe of Fallout is full of all sorts of intriguing ideas, factions, characters, etc. So today we will be ranking the top 10 things we wish to see in the upcoming Season 2.
What's your preference, laser or plasma?
I can't be the only one that asks the question, where are the laser and energy weapons? Okay, but why aren't they using them?
Yeah, it was really weird how we didn't get to see at least one of these iconic weapons being used throughout the whole season. The plasma weapons in particular really stand out in this universe, so I gotta wonder if this was a budget issue or if they're just saving them for later.
Whatever the reason, we hope to see our favorite plasma and laser weapons being put to good use.
There are Deathclaws all over the damn place north of here. I'd turn back if I were you.
Deadly laser and plasma-based weapons call for even deadlier creatures. Now the most obvious one is without a doubt the Deathclaw. It even got teased in the final scene of episode 8, and we sure as hell lost our minds over it.
But what we think would be even cooler to see are the Cazadors. Okay, well, I'd like to see them. The sound of them alone will bring shivers down the spine of every New Vegas veteran.
Besides the Cazadors, other iconic creatures from Fallout New Vegas, like the Night Stalkers, the giant mantises, and even the red scorpions, will be awesome to see in live action.
Of course, adding in new creatures is also a possibility, but why do that when you have so many options?
I can see it already. Lucy, slowly gaining consciousness, laying on a hospital bed. Her eyes looking at the fan ceiling as she hears.
Whoa, easy there, easy.
I got word of a settlement that needs our help.
Okay, I admit, this might not be the brightest idea.
What in the goddamn?
Realistically, the chances of characters from the games reappearing are slim to none, but if some do show up, I'd imagine they'd be really minor ones. Except for one, Victor, whose face is supposed to be that of Cooper Howard. So you can see where I'm going with this. Should they meet, Cooper will not only look at the screen of what he used to look like, but straight up interact with the character he played. I think there is a decent chance of this actually happening. But what would you say? Who do you think could appear in Season 2? One of our favorite parts about Season 1 of Fallout was actually the storyline inside the vault. So we hope to see more of Norm's story, as he was a really fun character overall, and also perhaps get a chance to revisit the vault shown in Fallout New Vegas, such as Vault 22 or Vault 11. I know what some of you will ask. How exactly can they show Vault 11 considering the events there transpired literally decades ago? And to that, I do have an answer.
Do you?
Yes, let me explain. You see, there is actually one survivor from Vault 11, who is also a cut non-player character still present in the game's files. So what if they took that character and include him in the show instead? We know based on articles that Aaron Paul is interested in playing in Season 2 of Fallout, and this sounds like a perfect character for him. What do you think? Would you like to see a story from the lore play out in the show, or would you much rather see a brand new vault? If we see any vaults at all, that is.
The pre-war scenes in Season 1 were probably the most pleasant surprise for us. They were so well written and acted, it really left us wanting more.
And the more is definitely what we're going to get based on how the season ended. As of yet, we still don't know how Moldaver survived the Great War and what exactly went down between Cooper and his wife. But between these three characters we can have a variety of different flashbacks, exploring the different aspects of the pre-war world and why it got that way. Which I feel is something that the casual audience should also be let in on. And as a final note, I am sure that we will get to find out more about this mysterious stranger here as the story moves forward. Could we be looking at the overall big bad character of the Fallout franchise, who orchestrated the war and to some degree a number of events after it? Who do you think this could possibly be?
Season 2 would be a great place to start introducing some of the smaller factions that make this world feel alive and lived in. Factions such as the Followers of the Apocalypse, Crimson Caravan, the Boomers, and the Great Khans should start making some appearances. They may not be involved in the overarching plot, but if they are good enough to be fighting on Hoover Dam for the Courier, they probably should be good enough to have a scene or two. Or just be in the background as the main characters talk. Also guys, imagine a cameo of the King played by Austin Butler. I know, not gonna happen. But what do you think, guys? Should any of the minor factions make it on screen?
Your ride's over, Mutie. Time to die.
It's the Enclave. Of course they're gonna be on this list. The little teaser we got for them in episode 2 left us with mixed feelings. But we will talk more about that in a future video. Based on the little we saw in that episode, we can clearly see that they have a working train, quite a bit of manpower based on this huge base of operations, and worst of all, they are once more working with FEV. So... Frank Horrigan 2.0 anyone? Yeah, I seriously doubt it, but I guess we can have a few super mutants for good measure instead. In any case, the Enclave is one of the best factions in the whole franchise. Whenever they're involved, things get quite spicy. Both in terms of plot and just tech we get to see. Like for example, the XO1. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the Enclave?
Delivery of the Platinum chip is non-negotiable.
I think this one is a given. And if not, then it would be the biggest missed opportunity I can think of regarding this show. We already talked about the probability of Mr. House's ending being remixed with another, possibly the NCR's, in another video. But what we didn't talk about is where it can go next. It would be interesting to see what his relationship with Voltec and the Enclave is, considering some stuff he said in New Vegas. Is he a collaborator, or is he fighting against them? Was he the one that ensured Moldaver's survival all these years? There are so many questions that can be answered through him. But, more than anything, we just can't wait to hear another epic speech about democracy.
If you want to see the fate of democracies, look out the windows.
Assuming his lines are as well written as those in New Vegas, of course.
Don't worry. I won't have you lashed to a cross like the rest of these degenerates.
One of our biggest hopes regarding Season 2 is for them to not simply fly overseas as Legion and what happened to them after the Battle of Hoover Dam. Do we think they still operate after the events of New Vegas? No, this seems highly unlikely. But even so, it would be weird if such a major faction completely fell off the map. At the very least, we hope to see the aftermath of their fall and what happened to the rest of their forces. The most logical thing would be for new factions to be formed, perhaps some of which carry similar values to the Legion. It's either that or they got assimilated by another faction. But which one? Our honest guess is that they will keep things very vague and only hint at what happened. But what do you think about this?
We set up here with our sights set on annexing New Vegas. If anything, they annexed us.
This one honestly shouldn't need an explanation. The fate of the NCR is by far the most talked about topic in the community ever since the release of the TV show. So because of this, we need a few clear answers. What happened to the rest of the NCR? Where are the rest of their troops and rangers? Do they have no organization whatsoever, and what happened to Kimbo? Did he die in Shady Sands? We really hope Season 2 answers at least a few of these questions. While we don't believe we will see the NCR as a major faction in Season 2, we certainly believe they will eventually regroup and become a big player in the Wasteland once more. It could take a few seasons though.
We won't go quietly. The Legion can count on that.
Well, this is all we have for you guys today. We hope you enjoyed the video.
If you're interested in some more Fallout content, click somewhere on the screen, I don't know where.